せたなカカロット。
いけるぜベジータ。必死で努力すりゃエリートを超えることがあるかもよ。
無策で来てしまったな。
何？ではさ必ずな。
貴様は楽天的すぎる。俺にもこのくらいはできるんだぜ。
そう。 こぼれだって必死で努力すりゃエリートを超えることがあるかもよ。
無策で来てしまったな。
何？ではさ必ずな。
貴様は楽天的すぎる。俺にもこのくらいはできるんだぜ。
かけばいい。新たなステージは神に挑む場所。強烈猛烈ダイナミックレッツゴーゴー。大パニック負けると強くなる。身の程知らずには後悔とか限界とかないもん。そうですそうですダイナミックレッツゴー Yes 連打機か見せて無茶ぶりすげえことが待って
よ
you ever seen ships going across the Black Sea? It's apparently like the most dangerous part of the ocean to cross. Look at this. It snapped the cargo ship in two. The wave was so big it snapped this ship in half.
Apparently, if you fall off a cruise ship, they can't stop the ship.
They can't.
Look at this shit. Look at this shit. Fuck that. Have you ever seen...
許さないぞワイたち。
けばいい新たなステージは
しょう。
What do you want next, my friend?
I've been gone for 2 weeks, so I want my wife next.
サイヤ人に限界などない。あ
フルパワーだ。
無策で来てしまったな。
何？ではさ、必ずな。
貴様は楽天的すぎる。
フュージョン。
悟空でもベジータでもない。俺は貴様を倒すものだ。
俺にもこのくらいはできるんだぜ。
Hey guys, in this video I want to take a look at Ilia Topuria's excellent boxing mechanics and tactics in his fight against Max Holloway. It was an excellent performance from Ilia against a good boxer in Max. At the start of the fight, Ilia set the tone by taking the center of the ring and daring Max to engage.
The UFC nearly cut this fighter, not because he was losing, but because no one wanted to fight him. Ryan Hall was a nightmare matchup. Weird stance, zero rhythm, no punches thrown, just constant dives at your legs and submissions that came out of nowhere. He didn't just beat opponents, he confused and frustrated them. A Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, a master of leg locks. He once made a former two-division UFC champion tap in seconds, with one of the cleanest heel hooks ever seen. Even Dana White, the UFC president, publicly admitted he had no idea what to do with him. Ryan Hall was so unorthodox, so awkward to fight, that fighters outright refused to sign the contract. And just when it seemed like no one would step up, a new name raised his hand, Ilia Topuria, a hungry prospect from Georgia. Back then, he had only 2 UFC fights and was still relatively unknown. But what the fans didn't know was that he would soon become a future featherweight champion. Many believed accepting the fight was a huge mistake. Ryan Hall had made a career out of dragging top-level strikers into his world, the mat, and ripping their legs apart. Fighters tried to strike with him. He just dove at their knees. Tried to backpedal. He rolled like a bowling ball and caught ankles midair. How do you knock out someone who won't even stand up? But Ilia had the answer. He studied Hall's every move. He didn't fall for the bait. He stayed calm, composed, patient, and then Hall made a mistake. He tried to roll into another Imanari attack, but this time Ilia saw it coming. Instead of backing off, he jumped into Hall's guard and began unleashing hell from the top position. Punches, explosive ground and pound. The jiu-jitsu wizard had no time to set up his defense, no time to bait, only time to survive, and he couldn't. Ilia hammered away until Ryan Hall's body went limp. The ref stepped in. The hype was over. Ilia Topuria didn't just beat Ryan Hall. He solved the puzzle everyone else avoided. The UFC nearly cut this fighter, tap in seconds, with one of the cleanest heel hooks ever seen. Even Dana White, the UFC president, publicly admitted he had no idea what to do with him. Ryan Hall was so unorthodox, so awkward to fight, that fighters outright refused to sign the contract. And just when it seemed like no one wanted to fight him. Ryan Hall was a nightmare matchup. Weird stance, zero rhythm, no punches thrown, just constant dives at your legs and submissions that came out of nowhere. He didn't just beat opponents, he confused and frustrated them. A Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belt, a master of leg locks. He once made a former two-division UFC champion tap in seconds, with one of the cleanest heel hooks ever seen. Even Dana White, the UFC president, publicly admitted he had no idea what to do with him. Ryan Hall was so unorthodox, so awkward to fight, that fighters outright refused to sign the contract. And just when it seemed
Okay, to unlock your lock, you spin it around. I do it twice. To your first number. Then you turn it to the left, past your first number, until you get to your second number. Then you turn it back to the right to your third number. Voila.
探索できてしまったな。
何？ではさあ必ずな。
貴様は楽天的すぎる。
ぜ。
オラが勝ったら恨みは忘れて、力の大会の間はオラたちの仲間になれ。
では私が勝ったら好きにやらせてもらいますよ。
私を投げ飛ばしなさい。
分かった。
行きましょう。
落ちこぼれだって必死で努力すりゃエリートを超えることがあるかもよ。
こ
しょう。
落ちこぼれだって必死で努力すりゃエリートを超えることがあるかもよ。
待たせたなカカロット。
いけるぜベジータ。
フュージョンするぞカカロット。
フュージョンしてっておめえの口から聞けるなんて最高だぜベジータ。フュージョン。
俺は孫悟空でもベジータでもない。俺は貴様を倒す者だ。
フュージョン。
俺は悟空でもベジータでもない。俺は貴様を倒す者だ。
The most anticipated Easy A's in Dokkan battle history are here, and I already explored just how dominant the Monkey Man is. So now it's time to see just how good these guys are. My apologies, these aren't just guys, these are gods. And honestly, as excited I am to see what these guys can do, I feel like they're gonna have to really impress me just because I saw G4 first. If you guys don't know anything about these units, if you're new to Dokkan, these guys kind of came out in an era where anniversary units, the kits, like the 2 anniversary units releasing side by side, usually used to just be borderline clones of each other. The main difference between these guys was really just that these guys were more about dodge once they transformed. Look at that art, by the way. I fucking love this card art, dude. It's so goddamn good. Again, these are the most iconic releases in Dokkan's history for a reason. These cards are pretty in-game, they're pretty out-of-game, and now they're pretty great in-game. I think I already said that. Either way, we're wasting time. I want to see what these guys can do. So without further ado, let's... All right, take a look at the team. My bad. Are you done now? Let's get it. 10 jumping jacks. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
guys, we are back for another Dokkan battle video. Today we're looking at LR Blue Gogeta, one of the best units in the game. This guy and the Vegito are both just coming and they are going to dominate the entire game. Ridiculously powerful with the guaranteed dodging once you transform. This Gogeta is able to get guaranteed crits if he gets up to 24 ki, which is really not that even stronger, unbelievably. Like, they're already damage, and it definitely is going to increase the damage of their active skill quite a bit. You know, 8 characters like, so Gogeta's going to have prepare for battle early on in these fights. You are definitely typically do 80 million potential attacks to happen every single turn. You get the guarantee. They're good in virtually every single aspect. It doesn't matter what you're talking about. Like, they excel at it. Defense with their guaranteed dodge, and that they have the utility of going and sliding.
Yeah, did that shit right now, homie? I saw you. I don't think shit. I got you said scrap. Why the fuck you say scrap? Who you want to see? Okay, I'll say that shit. I can do whatever I want. Who was up? Trying to run it out or what, fool? I can do whatever I want. Bitch ass what's up, fool? What you trying to get into, fool? I'll fuck you up, dog. What's up? Yeah, did that shit right now, homie? I saw you.
ろそろオラとやろうぜ。
1対1にこだわってる場合じゃないだろう。
必死で努力すりゃエリートを超えることがあるかもよ。悟空でもベジータでもない。俺は貴様を倒すものだ。行くぞベジータ。クソったれだ。これがスーパーサイヤ人ゴッドを超えたパワーだ。
かかってこい、遊んでやる。
正義を成し遂げるには最高の理解者が必要だった。
今この世界で絶対的な力を持つのは私と私。
この二人だけだ。
結局無策で来てしまったな。
This is Oakland, birthplace of drill rap, Michelle Obama, King Von, and rumored to be the most dangerous neighborhood in Chicago. I went there myself to see if this was true.
How is it out here? It is not what y'all portray.
Why do you know who gets such a bad rep out here?
It's been happening since the 70s. And started using Christianity to make us believe in a white God to enslave us. The police be on board, ignorant people that's on board. I got shot 6 times over here.
Who shot you?
I don't know.
Everybody right here got shot.
I feel like we always get a bad rep. Like we bad and then we always get down on people. Bro, we show hospitality.
Designed this yourself?
I started this with a marking on a piece of paper, so this gonna be big. Got the navy blue mole hair sweater.
Mole hair?
Yeah, I'm definitely a Muslim. Alhamdulillah. It ain't bad how people think it is. Don't let them fool y'all. We got cameramen out here. You got people trying to juggle with you.
Everyone that I've told that I'm coming down here says I was gonna get shot.
They some haters, bro. They lying.
It's real nice over here.
Man, this is beautiful, man. All love.
My birthday, let me get it.
Oh, how old are you?
13. Happy birthday to you.
What are you doing for your birthday?
Get drunk.
How about you, Hennessy? Double ambulance? Going down. Tap here to watch the full video. This is O-Block, birthplace.
我が願い、人間ゼロ計画を成し遂げるため。
最も醜い者に重い罰を受けてもらう。 落ちこぼれだって必死で努力すりゃエリートを超えることがあるかもよ。
Here we go. He jumps across the void. Now, he does tend to leave this void open between him and Illuminate the State. He's going forward. He shoots in. Okay, right here. Boom. He shoots in. We don't work on any sprawling, but you do see him go for a guillotine. And you see his legs are ready to drop down and do a guard. His grappling is way better than his stand-up. Runs him down. Okay, boom, he's got a guard. Usually when he gets here in a pass, he's flailing like a chicken. Yeah, his feet are just flailing, but he locks up this guard, so good job on him, all right? Takes his head, beats his back, goes back down, sprawls. Okay, now he's gonna lock up the choke. He locked up the choke, right? That is deep. I think the reason why he gave up choke is because Illuminate the State found out his true weakness. He pulled off his headband. He's squeezing, he's squeezing, he's squeezing. He hits him in the head, and then he hits him, he lets go of the choke. But I'm super happy for Death. Here we go. He jumps across the void. Now, he...
Big fork and jump. Big fork and jump. Big fork and jump.
How you doing, Coach?
そろオラッとやろうぜ。
1対1にこだわってる場合じゃないだろう。
He's so unorthodox. He fought in the southpaw stance. He could kick very well with both legs.
Lyoto kicks very fast. There's no wind up.
Every time I would throw a kick, Lyoto would time the kick and catch me in the face with a punch. quite a few times. Faked the kick and threw a punch. We faked the kick and threw a left overhand, and it landed hard. It wobbled him, dropped to his knees. By the time he got back up to his feet, I had him in front headlock position. Had his neck pretty tight, man. I honestly felt like I could have broken his neck at that time. But it choked him out, man. It was beautiful.
John Jones, Lyoto Machida.
He's so unorthodox. He fought in the southpaw stance. He could kick very well with both legs.
Lyoto kicks very fast. There's no
無策で来てしまったな。何？では明日必ずな。貴様は楽天的すぎる。俺にもこのくらいはできるんだぜ。
ゴッドを超えたパワーだ。
かかってこい、遊んでやる。
必死で努力すりゃエリート。
That huge uppercut was okay, and he's continuously ducked underneath these. Nice knee from Derek Lewis. And if he's worried about the nice knee, but if he's worried about the take, a little fence grab there, but it doesn't matter. He's
up against the fence. We'll see if Derek Lewis.
I don't see a whole lot.
Position on top for the Black Beast.
No attempting.
Time with which to work. 90 seconds to go round 4. Oh, big right. Abdurrahim coming up. So the Black Beast rallies. Hooks a leg. Go round 4. Oh, big right. Abdurrahim coming up. So the Black Beast rallies. Hooks a leg, and Lewis gets the takedown inside the full guard. Look at these clubbing hands, powering down. Elbows, trying to hack the ear off. He's just like a big boy playing with a new toy here, is Derek Lewis. Oh, Lewis to the chin. 3 big right hands, make it 4. Look at the power here. Boom, shakalaka, bang again with the right hands. It's good night, Irene!
Ford. Immediately he's taken down, but nice job using his left arm to stay up and get right back to his feet. And this man, he is a nightmare when he's on top of you.
Loads that one open, Grabowski open.
She'd be on Lewis from his hammer. Not a lot of tape on this guy on his back. He is not liking this right now.
Well, we build Derek Lewis as perhaps
Those are his sons. Derek told me that's all he thinks about. And that's it.
That is it. The Black Beast.
Had confidence in his ability. And there is a nice right hand. Takes a deep breath.
Yeah.
Little uppercut there by Derek.
And working hard, obviously, too.
Good shots there by Derek
connections by Lewis. This is what he wanted. An opportunity.
He's got a sprawl, and he does. Nicely done by Derek Lewis on top.
Seconds.
Hammer fist by Lewis. Oh, pitch. Oh,
big shots. 10.
Big shots by Lewis.
Wow.
Oh, he's probably still stunned.
No question.
And there's the right hand missed for Derek.
Significant strikes.
Oh, Derek back on top again.
Most of those were the ground and pound, and he adds on here. Pesta cannot stop. Lewis gonna finish it right here.
Big shots. That's it.
It is all over. Potts has earned a victory with the ankle locks. And 4 by KO, big left hand. Big and powerful. This might be the end right here.
Potts has got to roll out of here. He can't just live here.
Absolutely.
Relaxing.
Gonna come down again.
Oh, that's a hard one, Mike. This is it. This is it right here.
Gonna give up his back.
Oh, it's over. Hip escape. He's got a hip escape again.
Look at the head
He
strikes.
can't escaping, bucking, hands on the hips, moving. He's just so hurt here, Mike. It could have been stopped
right here, Derek Lewis.
It's it.
It is all over. Derek Lewis.
せえやつ初めてだ。サブレイしてきたぜ。行くぞベジータ。
クソったれだ。
これがスーパーサイヤ人ゴッドを超えたパワーだ。
かかってこい、遊んでやる。
こ そろそろオラとやろうぜ。
1対1にこだわってる場合じゃないだろう。無策で来てしまったな。
何？では朝必ずな。
貴様は楽天的すぎる。
行くぞベジータ。
クソったれが。
これがスーパーサイヤ人ゴッドを超えたパワーだ。
かかってこい、遊んでやる。
一丁いくぜ。今度は僕の番だ。魔漢光殺法。フューチャン。俺は悟空でもベジータでもない。俺は貴様を倒すものだ。 開始だ。
そう。
ろそろオラとやろうぜ。
1対1にこだわってる場合じゃないだろう。
悟空でもベジータでもない。俺は貴様を倒すものだ。 そう。
Alright guys, we're now about halfway through 2025, and there is one thing we know for sure, and that is that the fused fighter category so far has kind of been like the category of the year. If we look at most of the best units in the game this year, a lot of them do fall into this fused fighter category, right? Now we have had some very elite characters that aren't, fused fighter. We've had Kid Goku, Tien, Tao from Dragonball Saga, Hit from the Tournament of Power, he's from the Universe 637 tournament. Goku and Frieza from the Tournament of Power. Like, we've had a couple of, good characters that aren't necessarily fused fighter. But, like, the very best characters. Now, the Dokkan Celebration Part 1 characters, 10th Anniversary Dokkan Fest, and 7th Anniversary LR EZAs. Those, like, 3 groupings of 2 are kind of like the best characters in the game now. Now, the 10th Anniversary LRs did get a fight that's...
そろそろオラとやろうぜ。
1対1にこだわってる場合じゃないだろう。
くぞベジータ。
くそったれが。
これがスーパーサイヤ人ゴッドを超えたパワーだ。
かかってこい、遊んでやる。
It also because of Vegeta Blue. And it goes to the same thing here. You know, Goku Black and Zamasu, who are able to transform, switch over. They're able to do their active skill and go into fusion Zamasu. That likewise adds them to a ton of categories, right? You know, things like Fuse Fighter, Battle of Fate, Final Trump card as well for them, right? So, we have those. Now, a lot of times in these videos, it's like, oh, what type of feature does the category hold? It's the Fuse Fighter team. You know, this has been, I feel like more of a topic of discussion recently than ever before, but it's just very simple. They're always going to be going to fusions, man. Like, if you look at like Dokkan and Legends anniversaries, so Legends just completed their 7th anniversary, no fusion. When has Dokkan done that? The 8th anniversary was no fusions. And then the 4th anniversary, and I guess like the 2nd anniversary, and that's it. But it's like, the point is, these guys, these types of characters, are just such easy slam dunks. That the game, whoever makes the calls, the shots for the games, they're like, fuck yeah, dude. I'm gonna take the guaranteed dunk over, you know, trying to do like a Steph Curry 3 with like, you know, ultra Namek Goku and full power freeze like Legends did. But I'd argue that was it, right? Like they nailed it. But they're most of the time gonna go for just the guaranteed dunk of fusion type characters, right? So the point of that is, fusion, like, it's pretty much always going to be, like, good. Like, they're always going to be getting top-tier characters, right? Like, Trunks and Goten could easily get a tag character. I mean, I know they do, the free-to-play character, but, I mean, they could get, like, a true, you know, Carnival LR tag Goten and Trunks, Super Saiyan into Gotenks or something like that. Kefla has never gotten an LR, which is very silly. She needs to get one. To be fair, most of our fighters have recently, and I'll define recently by 2024 and 2025, have recently gotten characters, right? Like we have, you know, like Gotenks got an LR, Super Vegito, Super Gogeta, Blue Gogeta, all got LRs. Blue Vegito, maybe not really so much. I mean, that was more like this is like kind of like the last like real Blue Vegito. This was 2023. But like it's like they've used a lot of these fusion characters recently, so I would say there's a good chance. And then part 2 we know is going to be GT. A lot of people are speculating that this guy probably maybe standalone could be what we're going to see as a Carnival LR for part 2, which is going to be pretty crazy. But after him, I would say there's a good chance we're not going to see crazy.
した。
I got $300 worth of kosher barbecue from Mendel's Barbecue, a lamb rib. I've never heard of a lamb rib before. The fat melts away like butter. That bark on the outside. Grilled chicken, is it boiled? It is obscenely juicy, but damn it, I need some grill marks. This looks tasty. And because it's kosher, you're not gonna find a macaroni and cheese, but you will find questionable looking sauteed mushrooms. It's like you're biting on a squirrel testy or something. No, thank you. Got baked beans. They are sweet, spicy, savory, cooked down. They got a good little bit of vinegar in here too. Now this Fred Flintstone ass.
She made a complaint that says somebody was in the basement and
ろそろオラとやろうぜ。
1対1にこだわってる場合じゃないだろう。
The food I eat 100% affects the way my entire day goes. If I eat a big ass salad in the morning with avocados and olive oil, and I eat that, then I have some coconut oil and some coffee, and then I have a small bowl of blueberries with some plain yogurt. I'm eating like nothing but healthy food. And then I'll have like an elk steak with some asparagus. Dude, I feel great.
Right.
I feel great. I've got crazy energy. I'm drinking water all the time. No juices, no sugar, no nothing. I am more happy. The food I eat 100%.
ましょう。
そろそろオラとやろうぜ。
1対1にこだわってる場合じゃないだろう。
I gotta see. I think this could be it, honestly, Joe.
Well, if it is it, congratulations on an absolutely amazing career, and it has been an honor to call your fights.
そろオラとやろうぜ。
1対1にこだわってる場合じゃないだろう。
Dustin the Diamond Point, the fighting gem from Lafayette.
I don't care how much pain I go through, how many do the crowd say I can't do it. I don't care, I got self-belief.
His undeniable passion for combat.
This is my life, this is how I eat, and I want big fight!
Set him on a path to becoming one of the most iconic names in mixed martial arts history.
Oh! Knockdown for Poirier! Dustin Poirier has knocked out Conor McGregor!
After entertaining fans in a decorated career spanning 16 years.
Oh! Lafayette, Louisiana! Your guy has done it!
The decision was made to close the show with one last performance. The question was, who would be fitting enough to share the octagon for such a monumental moment? The answer was Max Blessed Holloway. The intertwined history of two future Hall of Famers will come to a poetic end when the current BMF title holder puts his belt on the line in enemy territory as the UFC returns to Louisiana to bid farewell to its hometown hero.
He is embracing this fight.
In 2012, Poirier welcomed Holloway to the UFC.
Yep, he's got it. That's it. When it came to the ground, he was superior.
In 2019, Poirier would have his hand raised again in the Title Fight Classic.
Oh my goodness, these boys are going at it! I just beat one of the pound-for-pound best in the world. I'm the champ!
And now, after blazing their separate trails on the way to achieving legendary status, the opportunity lies in wait to write the final chapter in this storied trilogy.
You said about that?
Everything is going well.
Everything is going, yeah.
And then you get a diagnosis.
I was diagnosed as Parkinson's.
So 1999, Muhammad Ali walks through the door. And as you said, you never know who's going to walk through the door.
Right.
2001, Manny Pacquiao walks through the door.
Yes.
What did you know about Manny?
Nothing.
I will never forget that first time I came to Wildcard Gym and I met Freddie. Freddie was young. He was young back then. He's still young now. He likes me because I punch hard. I like the way he trained.
How would you describe your working relationship now compared to where it was?
Well, at one point, I think it was more like he was my brother. And then at some point, it went even as a father-son relationship. I met at one of his basketball games one day, and some girl beside me said, "Do you think Manny still thinks of you as his father?" And I said, "No, I think that's past by now." And she goes, "How come every time he shoots and makes it, he comes over and looks at you?" Maybe we're still there.
Because you're fighting, is he going to be your guy?
Yeah, I told him on my last year of my career, I will not change you as a coach. I love Freddie.
1対1にこだわってる場合じゃないだろう。
This is Antonio Margarito, a relentless force in the boxing world, tearing through every opponent that stepped into the ring with him. Known for his iron chin and brutal pressure, Margarito climbed the ranks by demolishing fighters night after night, earning the respect and fear of many. But behind this unstoppable demolition, Antonio had a secret.
But there was one of them that actually put cement or something in their gloves.
That was that Mexican gentleman, Antonio Margarito. He did it to some like legit fighters and really beat them up. And they were like, it didn't even make sense how hard he was hitting them. Because he would put plaster of Paris apparently inside the wraps. And then during the wrapping of the gloves, Shane Mosley's camp was going, what the f is in his wraps? They recognized it and had him rewrap his hands, and then Shane Mosley beat his fucking ass. After he knocked out Miguel Cotto, when he beat him up in the 11th round, he stopped him, and it was a horrible stoppage too. He beat the shit out of him. One, it was bad. I mean, his face was busted up, and that's when people had suspicions, but they didn't know until they saw the wrapping of the gloves, and then they looked at every one of his fights before that, and they would go, "Oh, had plastic."
Following the explosive revelation of Margarito's hand wrap scandal, Roach didn't hold back, voicing his frustration and casting serious doubt on the legitimacy of Margarito's gloves, but instead
So, okay, in this fight, we are going to have a look at Anaguchi, okay, Kazuki Anaguchi. So let me just explain what happened first so you know what's going in. Anaguchi here on the left has got the red hair, so you can keep an eye on him. You probably haven't seen him much because I hadn't, because he's only had 6 or 7 fights. And so basically he dies in this fight. He dies in the ring. He doesn't die in the ring, sorry, but you'll see a slight deterioration. It's a very complex case if you was to study it. Kazuki Anaguchi died at 23. Boxer dies as a result of injuries sustained during the boxing fight. Japanese boxer Kazuki Anaguchi has tragically died at age 23 after suffering complications from brain injury. Okay, the bantamweight prospect underwent emergency surgery to remove a subdural hematoma. Okay, so I'm going to explain what a subdural hematoma is. Just understand, as you're watching this in the background, that he went down in 4, 7, 8 and 10. Okay, so in round 4, oh sorry, that was a slip. Okay, it might, so let's just see if he goes, keep an eye if he goes down in round 4. So that I proved that wasn't a punch. Okay, I slowed it down for you all. You can see it didn't connect, it was just clearly a slip. Sorry, so this is the first knockdown. Okay, so really up until this point Anaguchi was completely, I mean that was a heavy blow and that was another heavy blow at the end. Anaguchi was really won the whole fight. He was up on the scorecards at the end of the round in terms of winning rounds, but he just was the better fighter. I don't mean to discredit the other guy, he just was. He was better at countering, he was more snappy, he was, really good. So, look, seems more defensive and less snapping his punches, but recovers near the end of the round. And this is the common theme of Anaguchi's fighting style, okay? He gets knocked down and he kind of looks out, and but he comes back. Now, obviously, you know, we see fighters like Nigel Benn, for instance, that would do that. But obviously in this fight, we know that actually Anaguchi dies as a result of this. And it's not his spirit, it's not his fighting spirit that's getting him back up. It's that the damage really hasn't taken its toll. It's such a strange occurrence, this fight, because throughout the whole fight, he doesn't really show signs of any degradation, what's the word, degrading in his health. Okay, he doesn't really give you many signs or symptoms. I mean, look at him now, this is round 7 and he's had 2 knockdowns already, and is it 2 knockdowns, but he's still fighting, he's still fine. So a subdural hematoma is a serious condition where the blood collects between the skull and the surface of the brain. It's usually caused by a head injury. So it comes with confusion, personality changes. It doesn't actually say balance, okay, but I'm almost certain that it would affect the balance. There is probably there's probably so many symptoms to a head trauma, so the balance is slightly off. If you notice, there's a little bit of nothing. I mean, you certainly wouldn't notice it on the night, but looking back at it now, you can see that maybe, like there for instance, that okay, he's still punching, but if you notice the slight wobble and a possible ice and that he's, firstly it was to try and, this is the point of the video, okay, so firstly it was to try and explain where I think, or where to show where the substantial hits happened, and how it seemed to affect him after. Okay, in round 4, there was not really any effect at all. It's only really around this period, around 9, 8, 9, 10, that you start noticing that maybe actually there might be something a little bit wrong. But that's only looking in hindsight. Like I say, on the night, you probably just wouldn't notice. I mean, the referee's trained to notice, but you can't, it's very hard. But look at, I mean, that was a critical moment. Hard, but look at, I mean, that was a critical moment in my opinion. That ain't Navy sacred. And it's I think that. So up until this point, he was coping okay. He was doing okay. He's got a couple of seconds left in the round. That belt. I just feel deep ending. If anything, more for myself.
What's good, chat?
We're in. Taco Bell's ours.
We got it all, boys. Now I'm trying to munch on a crunch wrap.
I need a crispy Baja Blast. So crispy you can't beat it. This is next level, bro. We're in. Taco Bell's ours.
We got it all, boys. Now I'm trying to munch on a crunch wrap.
I need a crispy Baja Blast. So crispy you can't beat it. This is next level, bro. We're in. Taco Bell's ours.
What's up, guys? Have not given you an update in a while. Figured you deserve one. So I only died 4 times, but I got the double lung transplant. I made it out to the other side of it, gaining quite a bit of strength. We're going to use everything again. Man, that was a battle. Okay, I don't remember most of it. And the thing that was most impactful to me was all the love I felt from everybody. And it's almost like I got that right in the funeral. What's up, guys? Have not given you an update in a while.
ましょう。
Figured you deserve one.
So そろオラとやろうぜ。
1対1にこだわってる場合じゃないだろう。
So actually, it leaked out about Ben Askren, what was going on.
No,
and
we just pray for Ben to get better. What Jake has done for many people is unbelievable at his age of 28. He was putting a belt, right, on a number of fighters' waists today at age 28. Who else is doing that in the sport? In any sport? Who's lifting the trophy? There's no promoter like him. And what he does in terms of charitable contributions, what he does in terms of boxing bullies, what he does for other athletes. There's times when there's news of some athlete being sick or needing help in the UK, and he hits me up and he's like, hey, let's help this person out. And I say, okay, no problem. It's his money, but sure. So let's hear it for Jake Paul, please. I mean, he has his bad days too, but he's an amazing guy.
So actually, it leaked out about Ben Askren, what was going on.
No,
and
we just pray.
これも人間らしくていいな。
悟空孫悟空孫悟空さん父さん悟空あとは頼んだぞ。
What the fuck is up, boys? We just broke out to jail. But, Bigfoot dropped the soap on some real ditty shit.
Bro, finally got out of the clink, and now I'm out here freezing my cheeks off. I swear, if I had some Sydney Sweeney bathwater right now, I would be sparkling. Bro, did you feel something touch your toes?
Bro. Oh, hell no, bro. Just got pulled under. What the fuck was that?
What the fuck is up, boys? We just...
The ice is gonna melt away all of the construction workers. Just watch. Who wants a free Modelo? The old Modelo trick got him again. The ice is gonna melt. melt away all of the
Ride with that Nina. Ride with a hoe named Keisha.
Flight crew, FTC. Flight T stand up. Why you lie is we got Jimmy Arrow. People flag really worth the hype. Now I just finished getting off the stream not too long ago, and we had reacted to the summer league of this Cougar Flag, the second game, bro. Bro, he dropped 31. Yo, I'm not gonna lie to you. And Mavericks also just announced too that they're done playing him the rest of the season, and you can probably expect them like the rest of the NBA team.
そろそろオラとやろうぜ。
1対1にこだわってる場合じゃないだろう。トランクス、この先を見ろ。まだ見ぬ敵を、宇宙最強。お前が誇り高きサイヤ人の血を引く者ならば、俺の息子ならば誰にも負けることは許さん。俺超えてみせます。目の前の敵も父さんも。
悟空でもベジータでもない。俺は貴様を倒すものだ。
無策で来てしまったな。
何？では明日必ずな。
貴様は楽天的すぎる。
いい加減にしろ。貴様はもう謝っても許さねえぞ。行くぞベジータ。
クソったれが。
これがスーパーサイヤ人ゴッドを超えたパワーだ。
かかってこい、遊んでやる。
一丁に行くぜ。俺にもこのくらいはできるんだぜ。
To me, they asked me yesterday, how do you prepare? So it's very simple. If I have a fighter and he fights a guy with like a 3-inch reach advantage per arm, I give him a headpiece, and I put like 3 inches. I add 3 inches to the top of the headpiece, and I tell the opponent only to hit the top of the head, so he gets you.
The DeLorean DMC token. Well, I'll get to DeLorean in a minute. The DMC pre-sale is live now. Robles Disbandia looking for a quick start. Marcus bringing out tumbled and he drops. And the referee is waving this one off. Another quick knockout for Robles Disbandia.
Wow, what was that, 8 seconds?
This way.
Tell the opponent only to hit the top of the head, so he gets you.
The DeLorean DMC token. Well, I'll get to DeLorean in a minute. The DMC pre-sale is live now. Robles Disbandia looking for a quick start. Marcus bringing out tumbled and he drops. And the referee is waving this one off. Another quick knockout for Robles Disbandia.
Wow, what was that, 8 seconds?
Well, I was in the middle of, our ad read at the start.
In the middle of an ad, and so much for reading for the first round and trying to figure him out for the first round.
Right?
Yeah, he should have moved backwards immediately.
Well, I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to have to rely on you to recap the start of that exchange, because... Well, you know what? Let's look at the whole fight. Let's just look at the whole fight again.
The whole 8 seconds.
So, here we go, coming out. Oh, and he caught him with a little shot, and then it's just heavy clubbing hands.
Yeah, he just pretty much knocked him around like a pinball machine.
You know, one thing we didn't touch on, Robles, he said this is the first fight camp he's had that was 100% karate combat focused. And I think, you're seeing it now. He went to work with the hands. Hands in Taekwondo are not a thing in sport Taekwondo, right? They don't score. That's why they fight with their hands by their legs. But boy, when you can do that, why bother using the legs?
Dude, that will run the first round. Backwards.
And your winner by knockout! And your winner by knockout, Robles Disbandia!
Thanks for watching. I'm Boss Rutan, and if you like what you just saw, do not forget to subscribe. Hosu!
Turkish tradition, come on, bro. Are we about to Turkish or wrestling with turkey? Let's go. Come on, man, you can push it. Damn, I can't move it. I can't fucking move him. Let's go, stop. I quit. Oh, shit. I can't. It's in my head. Turkish tradition, come on, bro. Are we about to Turkish or wrestling with turkey? Let's go. Come on, man, you can push it. Damn.
Herkese
as a domain. I would love that, but Dokkan do not care about Garlic Jr. They say Garlic Jr. I don't want that on my damn bread, my garlic bread. I don't want no Junior on my garlic bread. That's what they said. You wouldn't mind Android 13 movie celebration thing?